Okay, so now let's say rather than do a fixed crop, I actually want to do a freehand crop. And for the purpose of getting rid of, you see this little gray line across the bottom? That was a mistake in my original cropping. So I just want to sort of freehand it and get rid of that little bit of gray. And a lot of times what I see people do is they grab the crop tool and they get all frustrated. Like they're like, hey, what's going on? I want to just get the whole image. And one of the reasons that happens is because they're in a fixed crop and they don't realize it. So when that happens, just hit the escape key, which is at the upper left hand corner of your keyboard. That pretty much gets you out of any tool if you ever have a problem. And I look up here and go, oh, look at this. I have got a fixed crop. And so there's a nice handy button over here that you will become familiar with called clear. When you hit clear, that clears out the width and height. Oh, and by the way, let's say you did have like a number like, let me delete that. Let's say you had a 5x7 fixed crop. There's a nice thing I want to show you right here. If you were cropping both verticals and horizontals to 5x7, there's kind of this little switcheroo button, and they call it swap. And so when you click on that, notice how the 7 goes over here, the 5 goes over here, swap it back. And that's for when you're doing like multiple images and you want to keep that fixed crop, but then you switch from landscape to portrait. But for now, I want to hit clear. And what that allows me to do then is pull the crop tool across and basically go in any shape I want. You'll notice that when I had a fixed crop, I only had 4 anchor points in each corner. Now that I'm doing a freeform crop, I actually have side anchor points as well. So I can make any kind of shape crop here. I could literally go just right to these lines and then hit the return button and just have that. So with the fixed crop, it was holding me to the square, and this is just free form, but you have to remember to clear out your width and height. Okay, so now let's look at, remember these saltine crackers? Somehow the world tilted sideways here. And one of the really great uses of the crop tool is to straighten out your picture. Quite often you'll shoot something and the horizon line will be off. So these crackers provide kind of a weird horizon line for us. So if I drag a crop across the saltine crackers, what I can do, and let me make the shield a little darker so you could see this. Okay, rather than pushing in the sides or the corners, what I'm going to do is go to the very far corner. It doesn't matter which one. I'll go to the bottom right hand corner. And you'll see when I'm on the side, I actually get straight arrows, left and right. And when I go over here, right on the edge, you have to get in just the right spot. You'll notice that I'm getting kind of a double curved arrow. And so I'm not actually on the anchor point, I'm just floating just outside of it. And that's actually important. Otherwise, you'll get the straight arrows on the anchor point. Here I'm getting the tilt. And what this allows me to do is rotate my crop to fit the horizon line. So let's say I actually bring, these crackers aren't exactly perfectly straight here, but let's say I bring it to there, I can sort of get an idea of how closely, and I can actually push this up to this row of crackers and see if it lines up. Not too bad. So now I have to pull the crop as far as I could go. Now if you look at the bottom here, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. If I try and maintain all the crackers, you'll see that I have this little gray edge, which will, when I crop, will just become a kind of a white swatch in there. So that's no good. So I am going to have to sacrifice a little bit of the picture to straighten it out. And I'm going as close to the edge, and if I pull from this corner, it'll kind of snap to the edge here. Snap to that edge. I'm trying to get every last bit of the crackers, which really doesn't leave me much choice here. Let's see what I could do here. Nope. See how it's going too high there? So basically that's about it. All I'm going to get to be able to keep is the top and bottom and the horizon line. And then I'm just going to either hit the checkbox or return and see how that automatically straightened out my horizon line. So that would be using this will work with a fixed crop as well, by the way. So you get to the crop tool and then you're just rotating the orientation of your crop, which will then straighten out your image, which is a very good thing.